your plate.
No, yeah, I know. It's a lot, and they don't want to put too much into records reports because then people will, you know, clock on, and read the reports and, spread misinformation. Unfortunately, we have way too many chatty Cathys that are still hired on to the hospital for some reason.
Yeah, yeah, you're not
Perry
wrong.
is, yeah,
There's
that's
there's
what
a whole other issue
when
that
I spoke to her about it originally, she, because I was like, are we keeping track of the infected? Are we keeping track of the rate of the spread of the different stages? And she goes, yes, but we're not putting any of it down. Like, if you keep notes, you need to keep them off the books. And I was like, okay. So,
I think given the circumstances, that is definitely, it's not ideal, but I think it is the most appropriate, sort of the lesser of two evils, because if information was put out, um, even with a slight glimmer of hope, right? Someone could even do it maliciously, knowing full well it'll hurt more people, and just pretend that somebody got better and provoke other people to do it, and other
yeah.
people get hurt. And you know people would be willing to do this. People are willing to stoop low. And
Oh,
at
yeah.
a nothing against you at all when I say this, I think you are the exception, but there are a lot of dirty doctors.
Oh, yeah. Trust me. I was telling Craig that I literally had to file a report for one who pulled a Molotov out in the middle of the ER. It's like they have no sense. And with all of the criminals that get caught with medical supplies, that don't get reported stolen, like, trust me, I'm well aware.
new charge for
I
that now,
am
by
the
the way.
exception.
Um,
I would say right now there's literally only 3 doctors that I would trust completely, and that's me, Perry, and Abby.
uh, I guess the follow up question, if you're able to ask Perry,
Yeah,
is whether or not the testing utilized up the entirety of
the
the
cure.
cure. Right? Because my thought process is if they didn't utilize everything, at least something is better than nothing. If they
Yeah.
have a means of at least, you know, I don't know if it's setting it half aside or something to give to Richard in the meantime. I don't know. I don't know. I don't really know how those things happen or what's required, but um
What saved him from when he got sick before?
honestly, it happened so long ago. I don't remember the exact details. Like this is something that we had just put behind us and
Yeah, put it
hoped
in
to
the
have
back of your
never.
mind and forget about it.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know. I just remember having conversations with Balto so frequently at the time because
Ugh, fuck Balto.
he would go daily and he would feed Bird daily.
Of course he would.
He would he had information. Um, I, I don't know. I just
Like,
remember at the
Balto
time.
fucking left mail at our doorstep for the lighthouse. And then when we picked it up because it was at our doorstep and read it, he got all pissy about it on Twitter.
Yeah, Balto is not a good person.
Like,
He
I don't know
was.
how much.
That's the
I don't know
thing.
how
He
much
was.
Richard's told you.
Regarding
Yeah.
Balto, nothing.
Okay. Yeah, he's become a very sanctimonious and self-righteous person. I'll just leave it at that. He believes that he knows everything and can't be told anything. Um, that he knows what's best for everyone in every situation, that he is a better person than all of us. He's horrible. He's manipulative. So, uh, he will talk to you like he's doing you a favor, like he's doing this to help you, but he will twist and spin narratives. I don't know. He was the one that told me about all of this years ago before he went down whatever, I don't know, whatever path that he's gone down now that's made him so horrible.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that at least at the time, the information he gave was better than nothing.
Yeah, no,
Um,
yeah. He was also the one who informed Flop about everything, you know, a few months back. He set him down despite, Richard asking him not to, and told Flop everything whenever not Kane first started showing face again.
you know who else I saw today working at the kebab shop and had a brief conversation with?
Who?
Winston.
Winston Walker? God, I haven't seen him in months.
Mm-hmm.
How is he?
So, I mean, he seemed to be doing okay. Um, it was hard to have a conversation. We kept getting interrupted because it was the only stall open, and uh, there was just so many people, especially people prepping for the court case. So they wanted a bunch of meals in case other people got hungry, and
Yeah.
um, the conversation was brief. But he he knew. I'm pretty sure he knew about Richard's condition.
Oh boy.
And I just remember Winston was there when Flop had returned. Because I, being the insensitive person at the time, while we were sitting down on the picnic table at the house at the lighthouse, um, was reminding Flop that he had a dog, to which Flop pretty much kept saying, "No, I don't." And Winston sort of, you know, explained to me that given what he's going through, can't really word it that way, and instead had to sort of phrase it as, do you want to adopt a dog? Sort of, I guess, start his life over to some degree.
Yeah.
Um, but just to
He and
clarify,
I had that conversation. Winston
today
and I.
I have seen Kane, who I have not seen in years. In Winston, who I have not seen in many, many months. Easily If that text from Flop was 7 months ago, it's probably been 8 months since I've seen him.
Yeah.
If I saw Balto today, who I haven't seen, and I swear it's been a whole year, I don't know. I'd lose my shit. I would lose my... They're...
Careful, you might summon shit into existence.
And if you see him, just turn around and walk the other way. Don't give him the time of day.
Also, I think it was the conversation I had with Princess regarding when she gave me the sticker, the whole "you're stupid" and lighthouse thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I think she was the one who had mentioned that people were looking for feathers. White feathers specifically. It could have been I'm pretty certain it was Princess.
Didn't Dad have a white feather?
Yes. And sort of again, I'm kind of like filling in the blanks sort of as they come up. But when you asked what saved him, I'm pretty sure it was the feather. Thinking back, oh my god, thinking back, I remember like for some, I'm trying to remember the context because again, it was so long ago, but I can't remember if the white feather turned black and that was an indication of something, or if the black one eventually turned white. I'm thinking it was something happened in the presence of specific individuals.
Right.
I just don't remember how or why.
Yeah, I remember Balto telling me about that. It was...
I was gonna say Balto would have these answers, but I haven't seen him in forever. And I know you said not to have a conversation with him, but I'm gonna be real. Given the circumstances, if he has the information, I want it.
I know. I don't know. There's a part of me that kind of blames him for poisoning my brothers against me. But, he wasn't the only one. All I know is that he's very unkind to both Sean and I now. So we give it back.
I mean, obviously, you most certainly have reason to. I mean, I can't be. I'll explain why I can't be upset at him for telling Flop. Because if I knew something that was intended to be a secret, that was withholding information from somebody who realistically should have said information, like that does eventually eat at you. And the threshold is differently for everybody, but there eventually comes a point where you feel enough is enough, or you feel as though something has gone on too long without intervention, that you feel obligated to do it. The thing is, there really was no good reason as to why we didn't tell Flop. Aside from it was the path of least resistance. Is that lazy? Sure. But again, there is a um, level of tact required, I guess I would argue.
Yeah.
And it's like a very nuanced situation. Like, how do you tell someone, hey, by the way, you did something happened. You don't have any of your memories. Where are your family, by the way? Um, and like that not be so incredibly overwhelming that you just want nothing to do with it. You sort of are. I don't want to say you're forced to start over on your own, but like you're just so overwhelmed with everything happening at once. Um, I don't know. Although I
That
don't
was,
agree with what Balto did, I can understand where he was coming from when he did it.
that's one of the reasons why he and I became siblings, was because, we had gotten close and we had had these conversations, and he confided that, people tend to forget that he doesn't remember a lot, and
Mm-hmm.
I told him, and of course, he was going through the whole thing where he thought that you and Richard were trying to replace him with me. And I was like, you just need somebody who's always going to be there for you, who's always going to support you, and, not constantly roast you or tear you down, and, somebody who's never going to leave you. And I told him I would be that person. And I think it's because of that conversation, those words that I said, that's why I can't let him go even after all of this.
You know what I think is scary?
But
He's not going to remember what he went through. And all it would take is a visit to see not Kane, or not Kane to explain what happened to him, acknowledge that everything that's happening at that point in time is wild, and that he can speak with people who have died, and then make a deal. And then we're back at square one.
no, that's one thing about Flop. Now, I don't know if it's changed, but when Balto did tell him, Flop was not happy with Balto. He didn't want to know. And for the longest time, anything pertaining to the lighthouse, Flop wanted nothing to do with it. He didn't want to hear about it. He didn't care. He just, and I don't know if that's changed. I don't know if it will change now that Dad's sick. But I know that when he and I last spoke on anything regarding that, he wanted nothing to do with it. He was very much like you in that regard. He didn't want to hear about it. He didn't want to know about it. Don't involve him. But
I don't
I
know.
mean,
It's still in the
he's in
back
the
of my head.
ADMC and they just all seem to flock there like lemmings. They're
I think
appropriately
that's,
named because they
I
just
swear, that's the exact thing that Princess said.
what's
I think she, I think she said, not ADMC specifically, but the fact that people flock there like lemmings.
that? Yeah.
It's so fucking true.
It is. It's ridiculous. The minute that I found out that that's what that was, because obviously, you had told me to steer clear of the lighthouse and to promise you never to go there, but you never told me why. And I didn't need you to. I knew that if it was that serious for you to, use that tone and make that kind of promise, that, I trusted you. And then when Balto told me about all of that, it was so beyond me that people would think that it was a good idea. Oh, the human embodiment of death is hanging out at the lighthouse. Let's go talk to him. Maybe we can be BFFs, you know? Maybe we can strike some deal that won't come back to bite us in the ass. You know? Again, the story of the monkey's paw. There's always a price.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know.
don't
I
forget,
just
common sense isn't so common, and
true.
people are very short-sighted regarding consequence. You know, it's if there isn't any sort of immediate, what's the term I'm looking for, gratification,
Yeah.
then there's no interest, or it just the consequence is irrelevant. Like,
Yeah.
until death is staring them in the face, the consequence was irrelevant.
I don't know. This whole thing is
Definitely keep me updated
yeah,
regarding what Perry tells you. Um,
of course.
I'm gonna head to the house later and see whether or not um, I can find anything with the feather.
Wait, what house?
In Polito,
Ah, okay.
which, considering it's been blown up, was blown up to some degree. Um, I mean, most of the damage is obviously on the first floor, and our room was down in the basement. So,
Gotcha.
I'll look through it, see if I can find anything.
Okay.
Yeah, the reference to the feather. I swear, when someone was sick, and again, it's so long ago, but if someone was sick and you took the white feather and pretty much put it in the vicinity of said person, it would either remain white, start turning black.
Like it was drawing out the sickness.
Yeah, exactly. And but at the time, it was almost perceived in a bad, like, in a this isn't a good thing kind of way.
Oh, okay.
But that could have just been misunderstanding, and it could have been the feather drawing out the sickness, as opposed to color turning being an indicator that a person was, let's say, marked for death.
Right.
Because again, it was so long ago, and there are very few situations in which it happened. I distinctly recall that being a thing. And the thing is, Balto would have the answers, which is why I do want to speak to him. Thing is, I hate reaching out to someone who I haven't spoken to in a while, seeking something. It's almost like if and when people become famous, and then suddenly people from their high school that fucking hated them suddenly want to be friends. It's like
Well,
they
this is
they
somebody
want
that
something.
has information that can potentially help, your husband.
Yeah. To be clear, I don't think Balto would have that mindset. Like, I've never had a bad conversation with Balto. Um, he's always
I
been,
hadn't either until recently. I mean, I was the godmother for his last born children, and then he just turned on me.
It seems to be a pretty reoccurring theme.
Yeah. I
Um,
just existed and everybody turned on me.
I'm just gonna. I do have to go here shortly, but
Yeah, of course.
I'm just gonna reiterate this in the most serious, not serious way. Okay?
Yeah.
You make a deal, I make a deal, and I'm coming for you. All right?
No.
I. Mm-hmm.
Listen, I will not make any deals. I promise.
I'm not
I
making
have
no deals.
I
Okay?
ain't got enough time to go make deals, man. I gotta deal with the amount of. I gotta deal with fucking Shift 3 LSPD.
you'd have to come home to me, so you know better.
I ain't got time for that shit.
But
But
just
yeah, no deals. But same,
under
right?
any circumstances, I don't care if it's me, I don't care if it's Richard, I don't care if it's Flop. No. The answer is no. The answer needs to be no
Yeah,
because it
always.
is an endless loop when stuff like this happens. And the only person who gets hurt in the end are the people making the deals because they
Yeah,
get promised the world. They give you the promise of saving someone you love. But you have to do something, and then you don't find out what you have to do until later. And when that time comes, you have to do something you would otherwise never do, and the person you're trying to save would never want you to do. Don't. It's not worth it. And yeah, just
I just need you to promise me. We need to get you into the hospital and get you seen as soon as possible.
What
Do you
did you
have
just
all
any
do?
right.
fever or anything like that?
I mean, aside from the cough, I haven't had much.
Okay,
When
that's good.
is Perry typically around?
Uh, I think she's been waking up later in the day, honestly, but I know that she does come around during this time too. So I think maybe we just have to try and catch her earlier. I don't know. Her schedule is very all over the place lately. She's been trying to, you know, deal with this,
Yeah, and it's
when
sort of
it's
all
most
over the
prevalent.
place. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Um, I mean, considering my encounter with you know who was like, it was, it had to have been the start of that court case today. So was that 9:10 p.m.? Because that's when Bruce came.
Okay.
Uh, yeah, I'd say 9 or 10. I will try to swing by the hospital around that time in hopes that Perry is around.
Okay.
Because obviously don't really want to deal um, with other doctors who are unfamiliar with what's going on.
Right. Yeah. Honestly, I only trust Perry right now. So until I talk to her and find out who all is involved. So, but yeah, I'll get you the information. Please check your text. I will text it to you.
I will. I will.
Okay.
Believe it or
And
not, it's
then
one of the first things I did today.
that's good.
Trust me,
That's good.
when the first person called me and I saw their name, I was like, this is a surprise.
Be wary of anything involving the faceless too, by the way. I know that they're somebody that the police have been encountering a lot, but apparently, you're looking at the third horseman,
Who?
Huh?
the faceless.
They're the third?
Yeah.
Wait. War?
Yeah.
Then what's the last one? Famine?
Conquest?
Yeah.
Uh, Wait, huh?
No,
What?
pestilence is conquest. So
No. pestilence,
So
famine, conquest, war, pestilence, famine, death. Those are the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Didn't you just read
there
off
was
5
a
things? What was? Huh?
there
I'm so
okay
Pestilence
there
and
confused.
famine are the same.
hold
They're,
on,
Okay.
stop
they go
interrupting
hand
me,
in hand.
please. There was a text message that, or not a text message, a tweet that went out a while back, and I remember I texted Dad about it because when I saw it, it kind of, it was right after, I had been apprised of, the doctor doing work in the sewers and
Mhm.
then this infectious disease spreading. Somebody named Lester Larson twatted out 4 nails, 4 corners, 4 riders, 4 horses. Bring me famine, bring me death, bring me war and pestilence.
Well, somebody ain't done their research.
Well,
Famine and pestilence are one and the same.
regardless. Different versions have them listed in different ways. So, which, I mean, if you want to be tongue in cheek about it, I mean, with the fact that hardly any of the food stalls are ever open, we're already dealing with famine, but
True. Maybe Nina was
Holy
that.
fuck! That's how I got targeted. Think about it. I was the only food stall open.
Oh.
yeah.
I mean, that's obviously a joke, but I think I mean, does famine specifically have to reference food, or can it just be the starvation of like
No.
any
Yeah.
resource? Because think about it.
Yeah.
Of course. Yeah.
What if it's the starvation of a cure? Does that qualify?
Yeah. It could be. I mean, look at war is a terrorist cell, you know?
Yeah,
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know.
So just given the fact that y'all are both cops and, I know that the PD have had to deal with them quite often. Just be wary of that, please.
I will.
Or
Just out of curiosity,
Yeah.
do either of y'all know anyone with a large amount of money that would loan me some money?
How much you need?
Well, I don't actually know. So the reason I'm asking is because I was told on the 28th of every month, unpaid houses go up for sale.
yes, I found out about that too. That's true.
Oh,
And
we might actually be able to buy a home? What?
and the thing is,
Well-
I imagine options are going to be fairly limited. But the important bit is that Richard's in the hospital, and
Yeah.
he got all the money.
Oh, he's the sugar daddy.
Yes.
Well, me and Etta combined have about, you have what, 720, 730?
818.
You have 8? I'm at
Yeah.
478. So we have what, 1.2
Oh, now don't forget, don't forget,
mil
the houses would be going up
at
at their market value,
market
not
value.
$2 million for a Roy Lowenstein house. So like, probably not that much, but
Yeah, we've been holding out for a specific house in Chumash, but it's not even available to be purchased. So I'm kind
And
of
we don't
giving
know
up
if it
hope
ever
at
will
this
be
point.
either.
yeah, from my understanding, the ones that go up on the 28th are the ones that specifically have not been paid, and I think you have to go for a
And-
period of like 2 months.
2 or 3 months, yeah. The big thing with that, and I heard this from Ventura, is that everything in the house stays in the house.
Yes.
So
Ventura made his money
like
back.
$1.7 million
Yeah.
on money that was just in the house, and the
Oh
2
my
houses that he
God.
bought.
Yep.
So is it going to be one of those things where you can actually like go and have a chance to buy it, or do you just need to have your
You
tablet
just
like
need to be ready,
Yeah.
fuck
You,
me? Okay.
and you just buy it.
He
It's
just
really just a
like,
case of
I love
it's like a
masturbating with toothpaste.
I would always
Like
say
the
it's like
storage
a,
locker.
storage locker.
Sure,
Yeah,
like
the
not
Storage
really.
Wars, yeah.
You just, if you get it first, you get it first, and whatever's inside, congratulations.
I mean, there pretty much is a so obviously everything within reason, right? There's pretty much going to be a guarantee that if the property you purchase you do not like, I guarantee you can sell for
Sell it.
exactly
Twice as much.
pretty much. Now I
That's
think
what Bruce
anyone doing
Baylor
that,
does.
I think anyone doing that is a scumbag.
Yep.
But
Yep.
the important aspect of that is, well, number one, if you don't, unfortunately, you lose out. But like, I don't think anybody should be going out of their way to swipe several properties with the intent to resell it. For example, the property
That's what
that
they do,
Ventura
though.
ended up staying with, if he wasn't
Yeah.
going to stick with that, I would have loved to have, uh, taken it off his hands, because although it's on Fudge Lane, it's on
Yeah.
the northern side, like by Sustancia, and
Yep.
it's like it's out of the way and it's cozy.
I
Yeah.
like this place.
Exactly. Well, this
Yeah.
is a very good place.
Yeah, Ray
Yeah.
paid like 1.2 million for it or something.
Yeah.
Wait, so who owns this?
Ray
Ray
Lee
Lee
and Crystal
Ray Lee.
Bordier.
Bordier.
Interesting.
They allowed us to come and stay with us after I was stabbed because,
Got it.
we were sleeping in the ICU because I was afraid to go home.
So number one, I wouldn't focus on like a incredibly like super expensive like property.
Yeah.
Because obviously, those are going to be pretty costly, including the the monthly fees and whatnot. But
Yeah.
you guys should probably, talk amongst yourselves regarding how much y'all are, willing to spend for a property, and be around on the 28th. Because if something comes up, I mean, obviously y'all have an idea of what you're looking for, but something is better than nothing, that's for sure.
Yeah. That's, I would love to have my own home. We've been married for almost 6 months now, and we still don't even have our own house.
Yep.
What? I mean, I can give you almost the rest of my money. I'll send you the rest of it like.
No, but
tomorrow.
you were saving for a car, honey.
SC7
do
ain't
either of
going
you
nowhere.
do either of you have a tablet?
Not on us.
I do. It's just, yeah. I'm gonna need to get a new one soon. It's gonna wear out.
Can you hand it to me real quick?
Yeah.
You're on duty. You're gonna be able to see every property.
Yeah, I want to see whether or not the market price shows up, because it's not going to give me any information.
Yeah, there you go.
It will show market price.
Interesting. Price. For context, let's see. Unless you're looking at Richmond as an area, the highest residential property price is 1.25 million, and that's on Bridge Street. In fact, multiple properties on Bridge Street. Then it goes
That's
back
because
to
those places are fucking
industrial.
huge.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know why, but Bridge Street specifically is very fucking expensive. Holy fuck.
The thing is that we can afford it.
The square footage for all of those homes, though, are like massive. Like, to give context, I think the square footage on our Polito home wasn't even 1,000 square feet.
Yeah.
I
Once you
wanna
start
say it was,
getting
like, just
to
barely.
the smaller Bridge Street houses, they're like 620 grand.
Yeah, see, that's easy.
Procopio Drive, one of the properties. I think this is the one Tessa used to live at. It's almost 2,400 feet, and it's 633.
Oh my god.
So if you've got 800 grand, now I don't know if taxes on top of those.
Yeah,
But
taxes on top.
I mean, scrolling down, it's like Mirror Park Boulevard, 566,000. 550. Those are commercial properties. Residential. Like Grove Street, 500 grand. Palomino Ave, 500 grand.
You know who might have a lot of money is Anita.
Manny?
Anita Manny.
Nah,
She had a sugar daddy that gave her like 700K one day just because.
Nah,
Like, she
I'm
doesn't even know
pretty
who it
sure.
was.
I'm pretty sure she swiped for all stage 5 parts, and I mean, I don't know if she's
she
broke,
didn't
but
spend that shit.
but
Oh my
Yeah, she
god.
did.
yeah. Here, let me hand this back to you.
You- Um,
Thank you.
you think it's gonna last 2 days? Then?
It.
I mean, either way, if you
Maybe.
swing by the hospital, just get it. Are you talking about the tablet?
Yeah, just get
Yeah.
another one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're so inexpensive. It's just worth.
So what were you wanting money for? Is there a certain house that you want to get?
Not any one specific house, but Ventura buying the house on Fudge Lane was like a you don't really have much a choice. And
Yeah.
I looked at that and I went, this could be like the perfect house, you know? Like it's not it wasn't ideal, and it wasn't, you know, the mental image of what I originally had, but again, something is better than nothing. And
Yeah.
there's very little risk in purchasing said property, because if ultimately you don't end up liking it, you can get your money back.
Right. I don't know. The housing market makes me so angry.
I think it would be worth doing if we can grab one.
It's something you can still call your own. And think about this. Let's assume this dream property you want in Chumash eventually goes up for sale. The likelihood that you would be around and be able to purchase it first is slim. Yeah. But you know what you would have? A property that you could put up or trade in addition to some money for said property. Or at least sell your home for a good chunk of money at that time. And so you have a large sum of money to then attempt to purchase from whoever ends up buying it.
Yeah. I wonder if any of those houses over on Chumash, because I know that there are some over there. On Encino, I think, that did actually come up available. So it's on Encino Road. There's a red 2-story.
It's Encino 1.
It almost looks like, yeah, it's Encino Road 1. It kind of looks like almost an Italian villa, kind of. It's very cute. And it's the house that we've wanted since we decided to leave Polito. But it just hasn't ever become available. Makes me sad.
I think, again, for me, Ventura buying that property on Fudge is what put everything into perspective for me, because I like it. And I also think if you guys had the property, you would have loved it as well. Because again, it's like, and if you had told me ever I'd be interested in purchasing a house on Fudge Lane, I'd call you fucking crazy.
Yeah.
But it's not like all the way up at the very top where there's like that kind of like rundown house. It's a few houses down. It's on the side where the backyard is pretty much the whole hill. And it's just, you enter through the back door, which sounds strange, but it works, and it's cozy, and it's got windows, and you can see around.
Which house you're talking about. Okay.
But seeing how it was decorated before, again, put it into perspective of like, yeah, location might not be perfect, and like, sure, maybe a bigger house would be nice, but this place was just. I don't mean cozy as in like just a nice way to describe small. Like it had a lot of room. I don't know. Prior to that, I was always just like, yeah, I kind of want like the perfect house, but at this point, you gotta take what you can get.
Yeah, exactly. At this point, just anything that we can call ours.
Exactly, 100%. there'd only be one exception. Well, number one, I'm not buying any commercial or industrial properties. That would be silly. But two, I ain't buying the house by the lighthouse. Fuck that.
Oh God.
Or,
hell no.
or I'm sure one day, you know, the little houses down where it heads to the little boat, you cross like a little bridge towards the lighthouse.
Yeah.
Instead of making the left bridge, you keep going straight, cross the other bridge, you go all the way down the dirt path to the water.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple houses there. I don't think they've ever been for sale, but like, I wouldn't buy those either. Too close
Yeah.
to not home. No,
It's almost like a little half-assed fishing village kind of situation.
Yes.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be buying that either.
Yeah, no.
Everything else,
definitely
though,
not.
fair game. As long as it, you know, price-wise was within reason.
You know, Dad wanted a farmhouse so bad.
Yeah, I know. And unfortunately, finding that is going to be very difficult.
Yeah. Yeah. The ones behind Harmony would have been perfect.
Have those
Especially
been
that
for
blue
sale?
house. I don't think so. I don't think they ever were refurbished. Which is sad.
Yeah.
Because I know he would have loved that.
Yeah, ever since my birthday last month, he been telling me, "Honey, I have 1 point something million dollars. You get whatever engine you want."
Oh.
It's like, no, I'm good. I still have the V12. And then now, Maple, did you hear about engine parts?
I did not. What happened with engine parts?
So engine parts there's going to be probably a very large supply of engine parts to make custom engines.
So they should all come down in price.
Not only come down in price, they're going to be considerably more just available on the base. So for context, there's a more expensive mystery box that only contains engine parts. And there's only a handful of parts. There's the crankshaft, the heads, the pistons, and the rods, or something to that extent. And then obviously the actual block for the engine,
Right.
which means motor, for example, might be able to get a reasonably priced motorcycle engine to possibly get the motor unit as like a viable thing. Now the thing is, I'm
That'd be
sure
nice.
everyone's going to be very uneasy with pricing because people aren't going to know the frequency at which they're going to do things. But here's the kicker: there's no stages associated with these parts. So if there's just a massive supply of them and there's only a handful of parts, you know, we might not have to spend a gazillion dollars if people are able to get these very frequently.
Yeah. So it goes for like regular parts too, right?
Well, regular parts is problematic because people only want stage 4s and 5s, and those are,
Correct.
I mean, you know, in the mystery boxes, they're competing against all those other parts that are practically useless. There's, like 8 different parts, and amongst those 8, there's 5 different stages. So getting a stage 5 is already difficult, but getting the stage 5 that you specifically want. But when there's only, let's say, a total of 4 or 5 parts engine related, none of which have stages, I imagine those are going to be, you know, considerably more frequent. I wonder if anybody has priced them. Oh, look. Rye is selling 2 cylinder heads and 2 crankshafts. James Thompson is maybe selling a warehouse. I haven't seen James Thompson in a while.
I was about to say, I haven't heard that name in years. Jesus Christ.
Holy fuck, Shlomi. Selling slicks by any chance?
I can't take anybody seriously named Shlomi. I'm sorry.
Shlomi Spectre.
Oh, you know
What
what?
the hell kind of name is that?
I don't say this about many people, but if he died tomorrow, good riddance.
Oh,
So
one of
everyone's
those.
buying
Okay.
BET. Yeah, fuck Shlomi. Fuck Shlomi.
that's when you know it's bad. If you feel that kind of
I
way
mean,
about it, then yeah.
yeah, I mean, I got a quote from you, Matt, in regards to Slomy, saying the remainder of his life is getting desperate.
Oh my god. Yeah. Holy
Oh my
fuck.
god, that's good.
Holy fuck.
You ate him up.
Has anybody posted pricing on these parts?
Of course not. Because then they'd have to stick to it.
Engine. Someone's selling a full 6.2 liter V8 engine. Wait, there's a. Oh. Let me tell you this. Drader pulled out the Scout with the 5.0 Yo in it.
Yeah.
It's with the 50 mil turbo, which lowers the horsepower. It's faster than mine.
Oh my god.
I mean, Turner has a fucking sleeper CVPI, right? He's got a
Yeah.
5.0 Yote in
Yep.
his CVPI.
Peters has put a Yote in something. I forget what it was.
Oh Lord. See, hearing all of this, being a mechanic nowadays is just so much more complicated.
Yeah, there's a lot more to it than.
Yeah, but it's listen, I think similar to when you worked at Harmony,
Mhm.
you are very teachable. Like, you have common sense.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
if you were to speak to a very reasonable person like Rainer,
Yeah.
straight up, like that's probably the easiest and best in you would have, especially because from my understanding, Rainer was the person working with the marshals regarding testing a lot of the police department vehicles with upgrades and engine swaps and a million different things. Like he's been good across the
That's
board,
awesome.
very respectful. I feel like everyone has their like Bruce Baylor story, getting price gouged or whatever.
Ugh. Yeah.
What people need to understand is that Bruce's business operates as a business based on convenience. The reason we can all name Bruce is because Bruce has been there. But guess what?
Yep.
When it's convenient for you to stop at a gas station because you want a snack, it's going to cost you a premium, right?
Yeah.
When Bruce, I mean, he doesn't market his business as a convenience, but when Bruce is like the solo court center man, not as in he works at the court center, but like he has everything mechanic wise that you could get at the court center. Like, it's no surprise that when your tires are bald and you need tires right now, immediately, especially as a cop, because otherwise your vehicle is going to be all over the road, guess who you're going to call? Bruce. And guess who you're going to pay an extra $10,000 to $20,000 to? Bruce. But guess who was there and nobody else was?
Yeah.
Bruce.
Yeah.
I do think there are valid I think there is valid criticism behind feeling as though you have been price gouged. However, I think that's because he doesn't market his business as a convenience-based thing because it doesn't need to be marketed as such. He knows people are going to be willing to pay that premium because they want it now. Otherwise, they'd fucking wait and not call him. Like that is the reality of the situation.
Oh yeah. No, I get it. Like I said, like I get it, and from a business standpoint, it's admirable, but at the same time, as somebody that's just forced to rely on that, it sucks.
Yeah, not
Which is
wrong.
why Sean and I have been discussing that since, maybe as a side gig, I dabble in mechanic work again. That way, I can be around for shift 3. So,
I think it'd be really good. He's also, from my understanding, Maple, correct me on this if I'm wrong, but got a contract with the LSPD where he's gonna swing by and make sure that all of like the shared vehicles and stuff are in like good working order or something to that extent, right?
Yeah, Saturday mornings at 4 a.m. Eastern. He's going to come through and make sure all of our cars entirely are going to be repaired.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's I swore I would never be under the hood of a car again, but
And the good news
it
is
it just seems like a necessity that y'all need.
he does both like mobile mechanic work. Like straight up, he repaired my car today. I didn't even know it needed to be repaired. I ran the plate of a Draugr because number one, I fucking hate them. But when it said Rainer, I was like, guys, don't worry about it, just Rainer. And then I popped my hood. I looked. I needed I thought 3 across, but I was like, do you have enough for a 3 across? He's like, I've got 10 across on the ready. Okay, meet me at Mission Row. Came to Mission Row, and he was like, listen, only did 2 because you'd end up in like the mid 90, like 96. I was like, okay, thank you, I appreciate it. But you know damn well there'd be people out there that said, you said 3, so I'm gonna do a 3.
Yeah.
You know, like that is someone who I would trust. Like if he ever said, can I? Okay, Maple, I would never let somebody use police equipment. Okay, but like in a pinch, if I saw Rainer and I looked to the other side and I saw Bruce and I needed one of the two to drive a car, it's going to be Rainer. It's going to be Rainer. Straight up. Like he is somebody I can trust. And that's just based upon his reputation, the rapport we have.
Have you seen how many cars he owns?
Yes. Yeah, he owns a gazillion. And here's the thing.
It was like
some of them
me back
are
in the day at Harmony.
Think about this though. Someone like Rainer who doesn't do crime, he can purchase a double VAFT vehicle with no consequence because he's not going to get that thing VAFT. Like straight up, he's not. So he can get them on the cheap. But yes, last time I looked at his profile, he had an insane amount of cars.
He has like, I think when I counted with Turner, it's like 64 or something like that.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Jesus Christ.
Well, and here's the thing, he's done a lot of testing with a bunch of different vehicles. Yeah, he's got a Jester, 2 VAFs.
Oh my God, maybe he can help me figure out what to put in my Weevil to make it actually drivable.
Well, he has a Weevil. I just saw...
Oh, does he?
Hold on.
That thing slows down if you hit even the most remote, tiniest little incline. It's ridiculous.
I swear I saw a Weevil here. Warner. Oh, Weevil. Yep, he owns a Weevil.
Nice.
And honestly, now would be like the prime perfect opportunity to get in contact with him because he likely is, if parts availability for engines becomes a non-issue, he likely is going to be getting well, I don't want to assume, but he will probably be one of the people testing engines on other vehicles and whatnot.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. Yeah, that's because I just want Sean tells me how much y'all struggle to have mechanics if Rainer can't be around. So I was like, well, maybe that's something that I need to look into. That way,
we've also
because I damn sure don't want y'all going to Milton's mods. So
yeah, we also discovered thanks to Davenport and then also now Matt that we can just make our own parts at MRPD. We have a workbench there that we use to put attachments on our guns, and we can have a stockpile of parts.
Yeah,
that way, if
I
there's
picked
not
up
any
this
available,
in front of in the back of your house, whatever.
Okay.
Because oh fuck, I left all the parts in
the bench.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go pick that up before jumping off duty. But yeah, there's 4 blueprints that are missing for the Sandy one. So I want to make sure I get those. That way we can do a full set at Sandy as well. Either way.
Well, that's awesome. Well, okay. I'm going to let you go because we've had a very long conversation. I know you've been needing to leave, but
yeah, I got to go to
thank
sleep.
you.
Otherwise, I'm going to pass out from starvation.
All right.
Yeah,
I'm going to give you this back.
Okay. I will definitely keep you apprised of everything that I learned from Perry after I talk to her.
And please call her Dr. Matt.
And
I will check
yeah.
in with Perry. If you know when she's around, let me
I'll let
know.
you know.
And I will, if I'm available.